This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST, brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Tim Daniel, and tonight's episode is brought to you by Kalshi. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code LOCKEDON to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade 25. We're going to celebrate tonight on tonight's show because the Cincinnati Reds take care of business once again against the Pittsburgh Pirates by a final of 8-7. We're going to talk about Emilio Pagan staying hot. Is this the final time we'll see Hunter Greene at GABP? I hope not. Salutations as Sal Stewart takes care of business. But we're going to start tonight talking about the fact that we had some guys that are in some trade rumors right now improving their stock.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I just got to say, I love the energy right now. I love the energy in the chat. I love the energy the Red Legs are playing with right now. I just love it. Just love it. I love how fired up we guys are. We've been waiting since April to feel this good about this team, right? Like, we've been waiting since April to be excited to watch this team on a nightly basis. And like, I know there's a long ways to go. I'm not talking about this team's going to find a way to make the playoffs. I'm talking about any of that, but they've won 7 of the last 10. They win tomorrow. They'll win 3 of their last 4 series. And they have been playing really fun baseball post the All-Star break. And at this point, I think that's all you can ask for. You can't worry about tanking in the baseball draft because the lottery there doesn't make any sense whatsoever every year. So if you're going to take games like tonight, you're going to flat out enjoy them, and we're going to have a lot of fun talking about it. I can't wait to chat about it with you all tonight. And let's get to tonight. There's been some names been going around quite a bit as far as potential Reds trade targets, right? Tyler Stephenson, Nathaniel Lowe, JJ Bleday. These are guys who are seeing come up quite a bit. Caleb Ferguson, guys like that, and so on and so forth. But tonight, Tyler Stephenson has another terrific game. And I'm going to be kind of bummed if this is the last weekend that Tyler Stephenson's the catcher in Cincinnati. I'll be honest. I feel like he's become underrated. He's been so good lately. And I just really just not ready to move on from him, but I understand. I think we're going to look back at his time with the Reds and we're going to be really appreciative about how good he was. So he was awesome. He was really awesome tonight. I know you're going to look at the 2 strikeouts. I don't care. He got a hit. He got 2 walks. He scored 1 of the runs. He was terrific. Nathaniel Lowe tonight goes 2 for 5 and has an RBI single. RBI double, sorry. He was really good. And I know that he was kind of here for this sake. Like, he came to Cincinnati for the sake of, hey, let's build up my stock again, and maybe I'll get a better contract. If things aren't going well, maybe I get moved up the deadline to a contender. That's looking like a possibility now for him, for how well he's played for the Reds. And I thought he was really good tonight. Again, he's been hitting the ball really well of late. I'm stumbling on my words. He's got his OPS up to 804. He's hitting 370 in his last 7 games with a 393 on base and a 444 slugging. So he's getting his stock up at the right time. And then JJ Bleday, who I know this is kind of the hot button right now. It's between keep him, trade him. That's the conversation around Reds fans. I know Jeff has been on the main show talking about he thinks JJ Bleday should be traded because it reminds him of Brandon Drury. I can't argue that. And then you see the group of people like, look, he's under team control. He's not expensive. He can hit. He's done really well at GABP. We should keep him. Any direction I don't really have an issue with, but I'm leaning here. I'm leaning keep him around. See if he can do this again in 27. If we have a 27, and maybe if this team gets pretty good in some of these trades that get some good big MLB players or close to ready MLB players, maybe JJ Bleday can help that out. So if he's a trade target and the rest can get something like a big haul for him, sure. But if not, and he's giving them the performance we're getting right now, let's roll with it. Let's have some fun with it. I thought tonight was just a really fun game. I mean, the Reds had 12 hits and 7 walks tonight. And a lot of that was just the guys who were rumored to be moved at the deadline. Other guys have been talked about at the deadline, not so much. Gino, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. I think for good or bad, we can count on Gino being here after the deadline. Caleb Ferguson, nope. Another guy that, take him or leave him, goes up 2 runs in a third of an inning. Pierce Johnson, Nope. Gets 2/3 of an inning and does not do very well either. So, yeah, the trade target guys kind of had their moments, but we will see how things go there. It was a lot of fun tonight. It was a lot of fun to be a Reds fan. And you know who made it even more fun? Our guy, Sal Stewart.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
You guys know who's leading the major leagues in RBIs right now? Or is the National League? Regardless, who cares? Sal Stewart. I see a bunch of comments in the chat tonight that says, pay Sal, extend Sal, give that man his money. I'm with you all. Give that man his money. Sal Stewart has been tremendous. And it's amazing that as a rookie, he's having the year he's having. I say this all the time. It's like a right-handed Joey Votto. He controls the strike zone. He's so good with ABS. And tonight has another terrific night. You know, he's got, let's see. He goes 2 for 5. He has 4 runs batted and he hits a homer. And I think if there's anyone absolutely benefiting from Ellie De La Cruz in the leadoff spot, it's Sal Stewart. And there's anyone benefiting from having Sal Stewart hit right behind them, it's Ellie De La Cruz. Those two as your 1-2 option to lineup is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. That's exactly what baseball teams should thrive for, is having two guys like that who hit and who can make their team have successful chances. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that once the Reds made that move in the lineup, that these guys kind of started getting going again, and they've both hit so well post All-Star break. It's fascinating. And for Sal Stewart to keep this up, like I think I said this earlier in the week. I am as pro-war for an argument for a player's skill set as much as anyone. But right now in the National League Rookie of the Year conversation, it's the only benefit JJ Weatherholt has above him. And look, it's a pretty decent stretch between the two. But everywhere else, Sal Stewart's got him beat. So this is my one time I will say this probably. I don't think this is going to come out of my mouth too often. This is probably the one time that I will say that war shouldn't matter here. Because Sal Stewart, overall, if you look at the back of their baseball cards, has been the better player between the two. And this is no disrespect to Weatherholt. I know he's a Cardinal. I know we as Reds fans hate the St. Louis Cardinals. I think Weatherholt's a terrific player. I think he's going to be really good. But I think Sal Stewart's the guy, and tonight's just adding another night to his rookie year legacy. So shout out Sal Stewart for an absolutely awesome game tonight. It was super fun to watch. And look, while we're talking about the potential of who will or won't be here next week, there was a lot of conversation today around Hunter Greene. And he pitched tonight, and he was so-so, but we're going to dive into it because I think he was better than he was worse. So we'll talk about that right after the break. But first, I want to give a big thanks to Amazon for this quick break here in the show. As we all know, it is back-to-school season. And with back-to-school shopping experience can be, it starts with a few items on the list, and suddenly you're shopping for supplies, clothes, lunch gear, tech, and about 10 other things you didn't see coming. It all adds up fast. When you look at the school supply list and wonder if you're shopping for one child or opening a small office supply store, I didn't realize first grade required this much inventory. Shopping like this can get out of control if you're not careful. When the school says your child needs a calculator, headphones, tablet for class, and somehow you're buying another one before the semester's halfway over. Since when do kids need so much tech for third grade? When it's 9 p.m. the night before school starts, and somebody suddenly remembers they need folders, notebooks, markers, and apparently 12 other things nobody mentioned until now. Nothing gets the heart rate up quite like emergency school shopping. I'm convinced Prime's Deliver at Tomorrow at Before 7 a.m. feature was created exclusively for parents like in this moment. So remember, with Amazon's low back-to-school prices, just spend less on your kids, because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school at Amazon and spend less on your kids. Thank you all to the Everydayers for making Locked On Reds your first listen of every day, and then hopefully I am your second listen, celebrating wins like tonight when they beat the Pittsburgh Pirates with an 8-7 win tonight for the Cincinnati Reds. If you're an Everydayer and haven't joined the Everydayer Club, what do you miss? What are you doing? You're missing out. Access to ad-free episodes. But for me, for Jeff and Steve, Monday through Friday, for your favorite Locked On shows, maybe me over at Locked On Cavs, maybe Locked On Bengals is your jam, maybe Locked On Pacers with Tony East is your jam. Ad-free of all of them. You got the Discord chat. We're in there talking ball with all of you. We want to talk ball each and every day, and we love having you guys in there to do that with us. So we appreciate you. I already know I used What Are We Talking About once as a branch in this one, but I'm going to use it again real quick because this Hunter Greene conversation is a conversation that needs to be had.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Look, it's deadline week, right? Monday is the trade deadline, and this team's going to look different probably Tuesday next week. And there's been a lot of conversation back and forth. So if you read Mark Sheldon's article earlier today, he says, well, Hunter Greene's the second most likely guy to be playing his last game at GABP this weekend. And then Bob Nightingale says, well, the Reds have told people Hunter Greene's not available. I'm going to say that I hope it's the latter. I hope come Tuesday, Hunter Greene is still a member of the Cincinnati Reds, because I know that he's been inconsistent since he came back from injury. But you got to think, this was his 5th start. You're not going to get in his full stretch Hunter Greene at this point, just for how little he's pitched so far in the year. And tonight goes 6 innings of 4-run ball where he had to battle, right? Like he had to leave a lot out there. You know, Pittsburgh really improved their offense. And I don't like to give the Pirates any credit ever, as you guys know. But their offense has been solid. You can't take that away from them. And he had to win against this team and had a rough first inning. Defense did him no favors. Gives up the solo shot in the second. And you kind of see him just chill a little bit. Feels like he's kind of finding his groove again. They give up a run in the 5th. But, I know what a quality start says is 6 with 3 less. I feel like that's the way the rule should be. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like also you have to look at how's the game going. The Reds offense is backing him up. So he's doing what he can to kind of just keep them in the game. Or if they have a lead, he kind of just holds it off and takes care of business there as well. So I thought he was pretty good tonight. I wouldn't say it was his best performance, but it's not one where I'm thinking I'm going to have people screaming, yelling about him. So we'll see how things go from here. I hope he's here next week, because I just have this feeling that when he's healthy and Chase Burns is healthy and Andrew Abbott's healthy, that the Reds can somehow find a way to be back in the postseason sometime again, and maybe even have a home series. Those are the 3 guys you want pitching in a short series. So we'll see how things go. I'm hoping like heck he's here next week, and I'm really curious to see how everything's going to play out, and I'm really genuinely looking forward to it. Here's one I didn't think I was going to be doing. The Emilio Pagan-a-thon rolls on.
It's time to reveal who made the biggest under-the-radar impact with today's X Factor.
How about Emilio Pagan again tonight? Do you guys remember how dumb I was at the beginning of the year? And I said, I don't think he's going to be good. And I think he's going to struggle this year because last year was too good to be true. And for a while, I looked like I was right. Maybe he just needed a little time off, because since he came back from the IL, he's been awesome. Tonight he picks up the win. So he's now 4-1 on the year. Pretty cool to see. Does they get a big strikeout to end the game? He's just been excellent. He's another guy too. Like, the thing I love about him is he's kind of the guy who's like, do you remember the 04 Red Sox had Kevin Millar? He was like the don't let us get hot guy. Emilio Pagan's kind of been the don't let us get hot guy in the crowd. I mean, he's kind of been the guy who's like, don't let the red legs get rolling, because if we do get rolling, we're good enough to make moves. And I don't know if that's true, but I love the fact that he's out there like being the leader and saying like, look, we're talented. We know we put ourselves in a hole, but we can find a way to get going. We can find a way to win baseball games. And look, they have, right? Since the All-Star break, they've been really good. They won those 3 series on the road. I knew they lost that Cleveland series, but that was a weird series because of the doubleheader, and the Guardians are such an up and down team. And then they win these first 2 games against the Pirates, which if they win tomorrow, they win that series too. So you're talking about winning 4 of your first 5 series post All-Star break. I don't think you can ask for a whole lot more. Pagan in his last 7 games, his last 7 outings, is 2-0 with 4 saves, has a 1.29 ERA, has 10 strikeouts, has no walks. Think about that when you talk about this bullpen. He's got a whip of .57. Thank you, Dave. I couldn't remember the words. It's the "we're going to make it weird" comment. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Thanks, Dave. I could not remember exactly what the exact comment was, but yeah, especially tonight because he had to figure out how to cover up Sam Maul, Pierce Johnson, Caleb Ferguson. I don't want to end the show on a bad note, but I don't think Sam Maul needs to be pitching anymore. So we're going to say something really fun so we don't end on that. How about the bottom of the order tonight? Noelvi Marte with 3 hits. I wish we just knew who he was, because he's going to have nights like that. And of course, he's going to have nights like he's had most of this week. But there's just something about that kid where you're like, man, if he can put it all together, they got something with this guy. And that's up to him. That's up to him to kind of figure that out. I know, but tonight was awesome. If he's not going to go 3 for 4 every night. He's obviously going to struggle quite a bit in the outfield. But if we can get a couple more 2 for 5s, 1 for 3s, drawing walks, I think Noelvi Marte can be a great asset to the Reds' future if they can figure that out. Matt McLain's defense tonight had some plays that left a little bit to desire, but that double was huge. Scores on that as well. He's another guy where, like, I know I've been on record as saying I've given up thinking he's going to be a good player, but if there's some little bit of good player in him, can we please find it? Because if he can be something, it just makes everything so much easier in the rest of the organization. Dane Myers has another hit tonight. Just been hitting the ball really well. I didn't like his bunt decision when they had a runner on third and the game was tied. I wasn't a fan of that. Obviously, we saw the bullpen give up the 3 runs the next inning, so that didn't help. But I can't be happier with what he's bringing from the team. And I'm glad that he's finally becoming like the everyday center fielder. Finally, he's playing more games than he's not. That's long overdue. And I think Tito's kind of figuring that out as well. I know what this Reds offense is year round. I know that they have not given us a whole lot to have games like tonight to be excited about, but this one was so fun. And obviously we know I'm happy because 1, they beat up on the Pirates and we know how I feel about them. 2, we beat up on Paul Skeens. We've not done a lot of that, but our last 2 times the Reds have played Paul Skeens, they've done pretty well against them. And also, here's a Sal Stewart fact for you. He's one of 5 players this season that's homered off Miz and Skeens. So that's what I'm talking about right there. That's positivity we're going to show on. But yes, the Reds are winners tonight over the Pittsburgh Pirates, 8-7. The Reds have 8 runs on 12 hits and no errors. The Pirates have 7 runs on 12 hits and an error. Emilio Pagan is the winning pitcher. He is 4-1 with a 4.63 ERA. Wilbur Dotel takes the loss. He is 1-4 with a 5.11 ERA. And the Reds have a chance to clinch the series tomorrow as Andrew Abbott takes the hill. This is a really good pitching matchup. Abbott will be taking the ball for the Reds. He'll be going against Braxton Ashcraft of the Pirates, who is 10-4 with a 4.05 average, coming in 5-6 with a 3.85. First pitch will be at 6:40. I'll go ahead and give this up there, guys. If you're going tomorrow, it's a Terry Francona bobblehead game. We know how bobblehead games are, so go early. Maybe go get a drink in the Dora area. Just you're ready because we know what the gates are going to look like tomorrow. And obviously City Connect Saturday. But everyone, thank you all so much. Hey, by the way, Jeff and Steve have a special episode coming out tomorrow. You want to keep an eye on for the trade deadline stuff? Be sure to check that out first thing in the morning as well before you listen to me after we hopefully celebrate another Reds game. But everyone, thank you all again. I'm Tim Daniel. Go Red Legs. I'll see you tomorrow.